Hello, my little Luxes. Welcome to another Charsie Chats, and I am your host, cosplayer Charsie Lux. Although today I am transformed into Crystal, the anti-love demon. And for this month's theme, I am doing Happy Vengeful Valentine's Day. I'm still using that fun, quirky voice that I was using for my movie review. See, this is the thing. I go through, I do a movie review. I had wanted to do a scary story, and then I would do my Charsie Chats, which, like I had mentioned before, Charsie Chats will most likely be put up long before the other two, just because it's so much easier to edit. But I wanted to get on this one to complain because, oh my god, got all set up, got all my programs up and running on my computer, on my phone, for the recording and all that to go. There either needs to be an update or something that has to happen between the programs because it keeps having these awful glitches. And it's frustrating. We have all this updated and wonderful technology, but it fucks up so much and it is so annoying. These are things that should just work. It shouldn't matter that it needs an update or anything. It should just work. There is no reason why it shouldn't. And I blame a lot of these companies too. Like, perfect example, US Cellular. They want you to have the newest technology. Now, most phones are perfectly fine for years. But they find these underhanded ways that they will give you all these updates. Now, there's certain programs in the updates that it starts making all the older phones a little bit more obsolete each time that you get a new update. And I've seen it happen time and time again between old co-workers, family members, friends, where they had phones that were perfectly fine and functioned just fine, but that when certain updates were happening, all of a sudden the phones would start overheating or would have battery issues and problems. That they noticed that when they took pictures, they seemed blurrier than what they used to be, like not as well quality as what they used to be. Now, obviously, I should be putting on my tinfoil hat because obviously this is just a conspiracy.
Cooperation, because life is a team sport.
But I'm sure that there is a lot of truth to this as well because of the fact I've seen it happen so many times, time and time again. And the only time that I've seen it to where most people have been lucky to bypass it is because they have an old phone, like a flip phone and that, where the updates really are null and void for them. So there are some exceptions to this rule, as there always are, but the newer phones definitely have this issue when it comes to updates. But anyway, yeah, so the fact that I had gone through that whole experience, like I said, I had gotten set up and everything, started recording. Well, I could tell, what's nice is when I use the computers and that, I can look in the monitors and see what's going on. Well, I could see it doing these glitches, and sure enough, I'd go back to watch the videos, and it would sound like a robot, it would do these skips, have these audio issues, which you've sometimes seen in my videos where I'll even state it and say I'm sorry for the audio glitch or the video problem. This time I'm just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with it this time because it was literally doing it like every 5 seconds, which was frustrating. So I am currently recording this just through my phone, not connected to anything, and it seemed to work just fine, but it was exhausting. And so the other thing is that now I have to wait till everything loads into my iCloud, and then I'll have to transport it from my iCloud to the computer instead of it just being uploaded straight to the computer. But whatever, small details. But I had gotten done doing my movie review of Tamara, and that is a film from 2005. So I could have done so many different things, and just been like, you know what, I will wait till my hubby gets home and helps me figure out what is wrong, because I am not tech savvy. I am terrible at finding programs, pinpointing what update needs to go where and this and that. But it's like, I'm in costume. I am in full costume and makeup, and it is flustering to have to make the decision to just scratch everything and do nothing, when it's like, this was probably about a 2 to 3 hour, no, about 3 hour makeup job. And yeah, that didn't feel like an option to me. So I'm glad I took the route that I did. And I feel like the review went pretty well. I'll find out how well things will upload from the cloud. It might look fuzzy, it might look bad, we'll find out. But until then, I just decided to do it this way. I would love to do my scary story today, but unfortunately, with having the wig and the horns tied on my head, I am definitely getting a headache. The headache could also be because of the frustration. Who knows anymore? But I don't know. I'll argue with myself because I have the story in my head. It's one of my stories that I've just kind of come up with. So, I mean, I could just spew it out and be like, bleh, and there it is. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I definitely apologize that this Charsie Chats is going to be so much shorter than my usual Charsie Chats. I don't know. I like to ramble a lot. This could be much longer than I think it is. But like I said, there's just something super frustrating about technology for me. And, well, I mean, I could bring up the subject and the fact of, speaking of technology and certain things that I feel like children shouldn't be allowed some of this technology. There is a weird situation of that a bunch of 10-year-olds who are on TikTok, who should not be on TikTok because there's an age limit for being on TikTok, but whatever, that there is a new trend for all these little kids to go to Sephora or to Ulta and to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars of their parents' money, which, I mean, that's on the parents at that point, and to buy product that is not good for them, like skincare products that are not meant for children. They have beautiful, healthy skin. You shouldn't be taking moisturizers that are made for maturing women with retinol in them and putting them on your youthful skin. But on top of them doing this kind of weird shit, they're making a huge mess in the stores as well. That they take all the tester products and they just spew it all over the counter and play in it and mix products together and like making these huge gloppy messes. And it's just kind of become this weird thing that now a lot of people are talking about it and are scratching their heads wondering what the heck happened, that they all got this money from Christmas and decided to go and do this, and they all started a weird trend. But once again, these are all kids that should not have access to social media. And a lot of people would be like, oh, well, you can't have this opinion because you're not a parent. Well, guess what? I was a kid. I was a teenager. I saw what my other friends did while they were online and they had access to the internet, and I watched how they abused the technology. So yeah, sure, I'm not a parent, but I still have a brain in my head and I still have examples from what I went through myself as a youth. It's just super weird that it's like these kids don't have the right to be doing this kind of stuff. And the types of technology and that, like, I understand simple things, like things that can help them in school and everything, but it's like some of these kids have cell phones, have iPads, have smartwatches, and all that already now. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit there and scratch my head thinking, I don't know what people are thinking. I remember the shit that my friends and I used to get into when we had the technology. And I can just imagine what it would be like nowadays. I am so thankful that social media wasn't a thing when I was in middle school and high school, because I was already bullied in school. Cyberbullying would have made it so much fucking worse. So I can't imagine what these kids go through. So I don't know, something's gotta give. But I was seeing all the news about that on some of my channels that I like watching, because I like watching beauty drama and that kind of stuff. So of course, with this huge influx of 9 to 12-year-olds going into Sephora and Ulta and making huge messes and spending money on products that they don't need and using them incorrectly on top of that, it just stemmed this weird thought process in my head that has been there for so long. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of all that. That's just so weird. And once again, I am so thankful that that type of technology, the technology that we have now, I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, I am so glad that it didn't exist while I was in school, because it would have been 100 times worse. And I can just imagine what some of these kids go through. And at 10 years old, they should still be playing with dolls. They should still be going outside and playing imagination. And I don't know, maybe I'm sounding like the boomers now and being like, back in my day, we used to walk uphill 5 miles just to get to school. I also am a realist. At the same time, we have certain laws and things passed that help protect people, because sending a child out and walking 5 miles to school every day is not safe, especially this day and age. And with all the missing children and everything going on, we have to make certain changes to protect our youth. So I don't know, there probably should be certain laws put into place for social media, but what do I know? Free will and all. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me here on another Charsie Chats. I was able to draw it out and make it just a little bit longer. See, it just put me on a subject and I can talk your ear off. But please come join me on my other YouTube channel for scary stories my father told me. And I'm on several different social media platforms, and I would love for you to come and join me on there. I will have the links in the description down below. And if you would like to help support me just a little bit more with my cosplays and my channels, please come join me on my Patreon. And on the screen, you can see a shout out to my fellow Patreon members, and thank you so much for joining me on there. And I am the afterlife of the party, but I would love for you to come and join me in the afterlife of the party. And always remember to slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. And love yourself, because self-love is the best love you can give yourself. Until next time, my little Luxies, have a Luxy Charms kind of day. Bye!